Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please give us a call if you guys are looking to improve your credit score, lower your car payment, buy a car, trade in a car. If you're looking to purchase your first home, if you're looking to purchase a rental property, we can help you. Give us a call today, 877-205-7771. Talk to you guys soon, and thanks again.
Hello everyone, this is Calvin Russell, CEO and founder of A50 Club Credit Consultation. Hope everyone's doing well today. Today we're going to talk about how to buy or lease a vehicle in a different state than the current state that you live in. Okay. Now you're probably like, why would this ever happen? There are some times when dealerships have different deals on new vehicles that may not be, anything close to what is in the state that you live in. Okay. Of course, with me living south of Chicago, we're not too far from Indiana, and it's very common that a lot of people that live in Indiana, come to Illinois to purchase a vehicle, and vice versa. A lot of times, there's some, I would say, some misconceptions about doing so. So let's clear a few things up and just try to show you guys how to do it properly. So number one, when you're buying a car in a different state than the state that you live in, a lot of times people, especially here locally in Illinois, we have one of the highest tax rates in the nation. We also get charged for something very stupid called our entertainment tax on Netflix. We're the only state that gets charged an entertainment tax on Netflix. That's a whole nother video for another day. But either way, I say that to say a lot of people would think that if you buy a vehicle, let's say in Indiana or a different state, that's of course different from not just where people will live here in Illinois, but probably where you live. That they wouldn't pay a higher tax. Well, just so we're clear, you don't get taxed on the vehicle that you buy, where you're buying it from. They go by the state that you're registering it in. So now if you have an address in a different state than the state that you currently reside. For example, I'll give you a true story. I had a person that I sold a car 2 years ago. He lived in Illinois, but he also had a house down in Tennessee. So he bought the car, but he registered everything in Tennessee because everything was cheaper to register in Tennessee. So if you want to finesse, that would be the way to do it. But again, everyone doesn't necessarily have his story because he had multiple, homes in different states. So he can take advantage of tax differences and things of that sort. And it's perfectly legal because again, he does live there, So of course, it's not tax evasion because again, where he ended up, driving the vehicle, things of that sort, that has nothing to do with us. That's to do with the IRS. But he has a home down there, so nobody really cares. So, but the misconception is that if I go to a cheaper state to buy that vehicle, I won't have to pay all these fees, which technically you're right. You won't have to pay fees there, but they're going to send it to the state that you're registered in when it comes time to get your plates, okay? Because they're going to give you, most dealerships will give you what they call a drive-away. A drive-away is normally just a set of numbers that go on the back of your vehicle, normally in the windshield, the back windshield, and those numbers will then will give you 30 days to now to essentially let your local state know that, hey, here's the vehicle. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to have some type of paperwork, or normally the dealerships you bought it from, they're going to give you paperwork to take to your local DMV, okay, and to get everything switched and transferred over. So that's one of the things that a lot of people don't necessarily go into. So that's number one, is that you will have to pay whatever normal fees that will be inside of your local state. Here's the problem with that, because for example, some states don't collect taxes for other states. What does that mean? That means that if you're buying a car, I'll give you the Indiana and Illinois scenario. Since we have so many, well, of course the dealership I worked at, but I'm sure a lot of dealerships did the same thing. Since there's so many people coming over from Indiana back and forth, or that live in Indiana, that probably drive to Illinois to work every day. That's very common. My point is that when it comes time to actually pay the taxes on those vehicles, most of the time they collect the taxes for the state. So what does that mean? That means that they usually just get them paperwork, but most of everything has already been paid for and financed. Why does that play a role? Well, let's go back to the situation where the guy bought the car in Illinois but registered it in Tennessee. Of course, we don't get that many clients, in Tennessee that's looking to buy a vehicle. So what happens? So since he wants to register it in Tennessee, then we will only charge him, for the vehicle and for the drive away. Everything else is going to be getting sent to the state of Tennessee. So guess what he's going to get in the mail? A tax bill, right? Because of course someone has to let them know that he has a vehicle, and we have to report that. That's just the law. That's how things go. The problem is that now, instead of being able to finance those taxes, which by the way can be 2, 3, 4, 5 grand, of course depending on the amount of car, but the taxes and registration and the plates, let's just say 2, 3 grand, let's say that amount of money is now going to be reported to the state. Now, of course, that's not going to be able to get financed into the deal because Illinois does not collect taxes for Tennessee. Now, again, this was at my dealership, unless it was like a trucking company that does a lot of business with Tennessee or whatever the case may be, so, but then again, if 9 times out of 10, if the state does not border where you live, like in Illinois, we have Indiana, we have Michigan, we have Wisconsin, so those are like the main states that people drive from back and forth. So it's very common, for us to collect taxes for those states. But again, you're talking about, living in Florida, buying a car in California, 9 times out of 10, they're not collecting taxes for Florida. So expect to get some type of bill, okay? Then of course, the next thing is going to be financing. Now, of course, you can pay any bank virtually. It doesn't really matter, who the bank is going to be. So the financing process is going to be the regular financing process. But what some people like to do, they like to go ahead and, if they're going to make that drive for a vehicle, whether it be a new car that has a killer deal or a used car that's hard to find, you're more than likely going to have your financing before you go. Or I recommend getting your financing done over the phone with proof that you have the approval and everything before you make that drive. We have a client that called us actually from YouTube, thank you, who's had a question about financing a Chevy SS. And of course, I've been in the car business for 6 years at the time, and I completely forgot about the Chevy SS. But he was looking to get one, and he saw one. It was far away. I said, listen, make sure you get your financing in order well before going there. Don't go there just to find out you can't buy the car. So of course, if you're like a 560, 580, don't make that drive, okay? Unless you got your financing in order, get your score up, get the financing done, get proof of it, then make that drive, okay? Or get a check from your local bank or whomever, or you can get pre-approved through Capital One. There's a lot of different ways you can do it, but you want to make sure that you have those things in place. Leasing is going to be the exact same thing, but again, we're talking about mainly new vehicles when we're talking about leasing, so you want to make sure that you qualify well before making that drive to the different state. Okay, so again, just want to kind of clear some things up. You will not save money necessarily just on the taxes because a state charges less taxes. Again, you have to live. They're going to register that vehicle and charge taxes on that vehicle based on where you live, where you currently reside. Okay, so either way, if you like the video, like it. If you want to share it, share it. And as always, be sure to subscribe as we have nothing but great content on the way. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day.